1, 2, 3, come on!
Hello mga kaibigan, ang nakikita po ninyo ngayon sa ating pong video ay mating ng ating pong mga flesh flies. Ayan, nakakatuwa kasi ngayong umaga, pumupunta ako dito sa aking garden. Nakita ko na merong dalawang langaw na magkadikit sila at ang tagal nila at hindi talaga sila naghihiwalay. As I observe, ay meron pala silang mating process na ginagawa. At naku naman, sa totoo naman talaga, kapag naman nangitlog ang mga ito ay talagang napakarami ng kanila pong naiitlog. Kaya ang tagal po nila na narito magkadikit, talagang lumipat pa po sila ng pwesto. Ayan, ipanoorin nyo po at makikita po ninyo kung papaano talaga sila mag-mating. Ipofocus pa po natin lalo ang itsura ng kanilang mating process. Kaya ang tanong natin kaibigan ay, how do flies mate? So the basic mating of a fly is, if a female fly wants to mate, she puts her ovipositor inside the male fly's genital opening, located at the bottom of his abdomen. Once the ovipositor is in place, the male releases sperm which travel through the female's reproductive tract to fertilize her eggs. Why are two flies stuck together? You will notice that these two flies stuck together. So are they mating? Their mating process actually takes hours. Thus, you see most of them stuck together while flying. They mate frequently in the summer seasons. Here's the sad part. Well, not really, but roll with it. The male love bug dies after mating and is dragged around by the female until she lays her eggs. You will notice that the flies bump to each other. Now the question is, why do flies bump into each other? As the concentrations of ethanol in the body rises, flies begin to become uncoordinated and oblivious to their surroundings. They get tipsy, they bump into each other remarkably. Even the concentrations of ethanol that induce these behaviors are nearly the same in flies and humans. That is according to Heverlin in January 2008. The fundamental biological process of reproduction can differ greatly from animal species to species. Both males and females sometimes evolve creative strategies in pursuing their interest in these mating interactions. This has been studied for quite some time in small species such as the fruit fly, Drosophila melanogaster, where the female receives proteins through the male's seminal fluid, which after the actual mating leads to radical changes in her behavior, and in the process occurring inside her body, the proteins increase her activity, reduce her sexual receptivity, and stimulate her immune system. It has been known for some time that such processes are not always beneficial for both sexes. Researchers from the Munster, Germany and Lausanne, Switzerland have now taken a closer look at which mechanisms change evolutionary if there are no conflicts of interest between the sexes. An example, competition between males is eliminated. The result, male flies produce fewer proteins in their seminal fluid, which changes the behavior of the females. This means that male flies mainly manipulate their partners in order to increase their own chances in reproductive competition. As a side effect, females often have health disadvantages. With the current study, we confirm a theory that has existed for a long time, says evolutionary biologist Claudia Frick. A research group later at the University of Munster, the study has been published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. In order to determine the extent to which the different interests pursued by each sex play a role in the evolutions of fruit flies, the researchers arranged for individual pairs of flies to live monogamously over many generations contrary to their normal mode of reproduction. Only one male and one female mated with each other, ruling out any opportunity for antagonistic interactions among potential partners. The male only gained as many offspring as the female could lay eggs. In a second group, 5 males and 5 females mated freely with one another. The polygamous lifestyle are perfectly normal one for these insects. Naturally created competitions, both between males and between females with a scope of antagonistic interactions. The total populations was, however, of equal size in both groups. After 150 generations and 10 years of sexual selections, the researchers compared the behavior and physiology of the flies in each group. They found that in the first days after fertilizations, polygamous females laid 1/3 more eggs than those flies which had mated in an environment containing only one mating partner. Also, the females which had mated with a polygamous male were noticeably more restless. As shown in recordings of movements pattern, both are factors that are influenced by receipt of these male seminal fluid proteins. Why is that of advantage to the male? Since female flies are able to store the sperm of several partners and use it for more than a week to fertilize their eggs. The first male the female mates with does everything to ensure that she lays as many eggs as she can as quickly as possible and does not reproduce with the others. This early investment is to determine of the female, which is discouraged from saving her energy and procreating over a longer time period. This was also shown in the study. Females which had been with polygamous males dies twice as frequently within a few hours of mating as females in monogamous relationships, says Lauren Keller from the University of Lausanne, who was involved in this study with his colleagues Brian Hollis. In a further step, the scientists read out the expressions of genes of female fruit flies after mating in the female's abdomen and brain, an example, in the structures responsible for reproduction, and for any changes in behavior, the researchers measured expressions of genes important for reproduction. They discovered that these genes are far less expressed in females, which live monogamously. This responded to what they found in males without any competitions. The monogamous males had the lower expressions of genes coding for male seminal fluid proteins with which females can be manipulated after mating. In subsequent studies, the researchers hope to identify further genes that play a role in this process in both female and male fruit flies. The general principles of these observations may also be transferable to other insect species with a similar mating system. For our story source, materials provided by University of Munster.